Katsuki doesn't do the "I'm sorry you're hurting," but he does do "I memorized the kettle's whistle" and the exact cabinet where your favorite tea lives, and in the middle of a flare-up. That's better than any apology. Ichiro asks to be told when the pain crosses a 7. What happens when it does? Does the dynamic shift from quiet comfort to emergency mode? And how do the boys handle the transition from caretakers to protectors when the pain becomes more than a heat patch can fix? The clock reads 2:14 a.m. when it starts again. It always starts the same way, a dull ache somewhere low in your abdomen that blooms outward like ink dropped in water, slow and deliberate, until your whole body is one taut, measurable thing. You curl onto your side, pulling your knees to your chest, pressing your face into the pillow so the sound you make stays between you and the mattress. It doesn't work. Hey. Katsuki's voice is low and rough with sleep, his hand landing on your shoulder before you can pretend you're fine. Again. You don't answer immediately. There's a particular kind of shame in this, being the person who ruins sleep, who is in pain every single night, without a clean explanation doctors have settled on yet. Chronic, they say. Manageable, they say. Which you've come to understand means your problem to carry. I'm okay. You murmur into the pillow. The mattress shifts, and then the lamp on the nightstand clicks on, dim and orange, and Katsuki sits up. You said that last night, he says flatly, not cruel, just honest. He's always been that kind of person. And from behind you, Ijiro stirs. He sleeps like a boulder, heavy and warm and nearly impossible to wake, but he has a sensitivity to you, specifically, that he's never been able to explain. His arm, already draped over your waist, tightens. Babe, his voice is still mostly asleep, soft in a way he'd probably never allow in daylight. What's hurting? Everything south of my ribs. You admit, because lying to Ijiro feels like kicking a dog. He makes a low sound, something between a groan and a sigh, and presses his face into the back of your neck. Okay, I got you. Katsuki is already out of bed. You hear him moving through the dark of the apartment, unhurried but purposeful. The particular rhythm of someone who has memorized a routine they resented having to learn. Cabinet opens, the kettle fills, a drawer slides open, and you know without seeing it that he's pulling out the heat patch. Ijiro rubs slow circles against your lower back with his thumb, saying nothing, just existing warmly against you. He's learned this too, that sometimes talking makes it worse, fills the room with noise when all you want is to feel less alone inside your body. Does it feel like last time? He asks eventually. Or worse? Same. You exhale. Maybe just a little worse. Scale. You hate the scale. 6. His arm tightens again. Tell me if it crosses 7. Katsuki comes back with the heat patch, already activated. The little paper sleeve, discarded somewhere in the kitchen. He peels the backing off with the same precision he applies to everything, and you feel him lift the hem of your shirt without ceremony, pressing it flat against your lower back. The warmth is immediate. You let out a breath he'd been holding for the last 10 minutes. Hot water's on, he says, dropping back onto his side of the bed. He doesn't touch you the way Jiro does. That's not his language. Not at 2 a.m. when he's half asleep and stripped off his defenses, but he stays close. His knee presses against the back of yours. It's deliberate. You've learned to read Katsuki in the currency of small, deliberate things. You should go back to sleep. You say, both of you. I'll be fine once the heat kicks in. Shut up, Katsuki says. Without heat, he means we're not going anywhere. Ijiro translates, in case that wasn't clear. I know what he means. Just checking. The kettle clicks off a few minutes later. Katsuki gets up again. You hear him pour. Hear the specific clink of the mug he's chosen. The one with the chipped handle that lives at the front of the cabinet because you're the only one who ever uses it. He comes back with chamomile because it's the only thing that doesn't make your stomach worse. And he looked it up one night 2 months ago, quietly on his phone, while you were in the bathroom. He never mentioned that. He just started keeping it. Sit up for a second. You do, slowly, and he presses the mug into your hands, hot enough to feel through the ceramic. The heat patch is spreading now, and between the warmth at your back and the warmth between your palms, your body starts to unknot by small degrees. Ijiro pops himself up on his elbow, watching you with that expression he has, open and unguarded, and not at all trying to hide that he's worried. Better? Getting there. That's great. We can reschedule tomorrow if you need to sleep in. You have training. Training can wait. E.g., it can wait. He says, and his tone is still soft, but there's bedrock underneath it. The same stubbornness that makes him impossible to knock down in any fight. You're more important. You look at Katsuki, who's watching the wall, jaw loose, clearly still half asleep, but there's a tension in his shoulders. That means he's listening to every word. You agree with him. I always do when he's right. Katsuki says, like this costs him nothing. It costs him something, and you know that. You finish the tea in small sips when Ijiro draws absent patterns against your arm, and Katsuki stays close enough that his warmth bleeds into your side. The pain doesn't vanish. It never does. Not all at once, but somewhere around 3 a.m. in the soft amber light, with two people who learned your pain like a second language, it becomes something you can carry. You set the empty mug on the nightstand. Okay, you say quietly. I think I can sleep now. Ijiro pulls you back down without a word, and Katsuki turns off the lamp. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and goodbye.